Hey everyone, and welcome to the Neon Arcade. In today's video, we're going to be looking at playing PUBG Mobile with a mouse and keyboard using an emulator and comparing that to PUBG's regular PC experience. Now before I start, I want to make it clear that using an emulator places you against other people using emulators and isn't unfair to mobile players who are stuck with the touchscreen controls. The only time mobile players will ever be placed against other players using emulators is when an emulator player is partied up with a mobile player. For example, if you're using an emulator and you invite your buddy to play who's using an iPhone 8 Plus or iPad or whatever he has, your games are going to have either people playing with emulators or emulator players with mobile users in their party. Tencent, which is the company that makes PUBG Mobile, has an official emulator called the Gaming Buddy. With this, you can play PUBG Mobile on your PC with a mouse and keyboard. This is the emulator I use, and I encourage using this one over BlueStacks when it comes to PUBG Mobile, as it's better optimized. I'll leave a link in the description to download the Gaming Buddy. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of what this video is really about, and that's comparing using an emulator to play PUBG Mobile against Bluehole's PC version, and helping you decide which version is better suited for you. Let's start with comparing the price of each. PUBG on PC is still $30 on Steam, whilst PUBG Mobile is free, as is the emulator you need to play it. This clearly favors the mobile version because you don't have to pay a dime to play the base game. Now there are microtransactions in both versions, but those aren't necessary to play the game, and none of those purchases will give you the competitive edge in play. If anything, a neon bright orange SMG skin you can get from the loot crates are going to get you spotted more often than the base skins. Next up, we have the system requirements to play each version. The PC version is notorious for making higher end PCs look like complete trash, and lots of people with capable GPUs and CPUs play on lower settings to make the game run at a reasonable FPS. Not only that, but low view distance settings actually gives a competitive advantage in seeing prone players further away due to the fact that grass will not render at longer distances with this setting being used. Mobile PUBG with the emulator is far less intensive on your computer, and although it is locked at 60 FPS, you'll be hitting that pretty easily. However, the game does have stutter issues and bugs, and it can be annoying and frustrating at times. Mobile PUBG at its max settings, which Tencent recommends you have at least a GTX 1060 for, doesn't look quite as good as the PC version's lowest settings, but it's not too far off and looks great for a mobile game. View distance in the mobile version is similar to PUBG on low view distance settings, and seeing people at long ranges is fairly easy without grass or bushes rendering in the distance. At the end of the day, the mobile version using an emulator will be much easier to play on if you're using a lower end PC or laptop. If you have a capable computer, you can run the PC version, but your mileage may vary depending on how good of a rig you have. Next, let's compare the actual gameplay elements of these two PUBG versions. At the moment, the mobile version offers a third-person perspective, whilst the PC version has both third-person and first-person perspectives. Mobile will be getting first-person perspective around mid-June, but for now it's purely third-person. Mobile also includes auto-looting to make it easier for the original touchscreen controls, and results in looting necessary items like energy drinks and painkillers much faster. The PC version doesn't offer an auto loot system, and you're forced to either hit the F key to individually pick up items or tab over a pile of items and drag them into your inventory. Mobile can also be made to have this too, as you can disable your auto loot function if you so choose. I ended up keeping the auto loot function as it's good for going over small piles of items and moving quickly. If I decided I needed to be more thorough, I would bypass auto loot by tabbing over larger items and sorting through what I wanted. The emulator's controls are essentially the same as PC's and make the transition between both pretty simple if you play both versions. Gunplay is where there is more of a stark difference, with the mobile version leaving out weapon sway and recoil and adding in some light auto aim. It is substantially easier to snipe people from a distance playing mobile with the mouse, and the absence of bullet drop and recoil make picking up attachments less important overall, other than scopes, which are important for distance. PC PUBG weapons have heavy recoil, sway when aiming down the sights, and have differing bullet drops for every weapon. This means that there takes a lot more time overall to master the weapons in the PC version and makes the mobile version feel more arcadey and watered down. Movement, proning, crouching, and peeking is similar in both versions, but getting caught proning in the mobile version is going to happen a lot more often, as seeing people crouching or laying down is much more apparent. Because of mobile's simplified graphics and textures, people are much easier to see, and thus proning is far less effective overall. Directional audio in mobile have little to no bugs or glitches, and although they both sound good when they work, PC's directional audio experiences bugs and oddities far more frequently. In the mobile version, on-screen cues will also show where you're getting shot from, which again will make the experience feel more accessible. All in all, the PC version feels like the hardcore bigger brother to the mobile version, but that isn't to say that using an emulator to play the mobile version is bad. I enjoy the PC version when I feel like having a competitive, hardcore experience, and I enjoy playing the emulator version when I want a quick, arcadey romp and stomp, and I don't want to put my tryhard pants on. They both have their distinct place. Moving on, mobile does in-game bonuses, incentives, ranking, and customization far better than the PC version. With frequent updates coming much faster to PUBG Mobile, playing using the Gaming Buddy emulator gives you a ranking system, daily rewards, country emblems for pride, and a reason to play the game and take it more seriously. PC lags severely behind in this department as their updates come out far less frequently. There's just less features overall than PUBG Mobile, despite having been released long before the mobile port. Mobile might actually overtake PC with adding content that PC doesn't even have yet due to how fast they are at making additions. By this time in the video, you'll have a pretty good idea on which one is more suitable for you based on what you want out of the game, what kind of equipment you have, and what your gaming goals are. For me, I love playing mobile on my iPhone 8. I can take it on the go and play next to buddies who may not necessarily have a PC for PUBG or even be that into gaming. When it comes to PC and using mouse and key, I like to keep my experience more hardcore, so I'll be sticking to the regular PUBG on PC. Using the emulator, however, feels like a happy medium between standard mobile and the full PC version. Many people will be happy with the option to play PUBG with a mouse and keyboard for free and without all the attached frustrations and setup required. It is a good entry point if you're on the fence about the full PC version and offers some practice beforehand if you choose to spend the money. So which version do you play and why? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts, and stay locked on this channel for more PUBG and PUBG Mobile videos.